everybody. I'm Hillary Atkin from the Atkin Report, and I'm absolutely thrilled to welcome Shohreh Aghdashloo from The Expanse to this edition of Hillary's Happy Hour. Shohreh, how are you doing?
I am doing great, Hillary. Thank you so much for having me. How are
It
you
is
doing?
it's a thrill to have you, and I have to hear more about your role on The Expanse as UN Deputy Undersecretary Christian Avasarala, also known as Queen of Earth, who will do anything to protect it from the
Uh,
Belter revolutionaries. Her allegiances have shifted during season 5, am I right?
absolutely, you're absolutely right. Actually, it started right in the middle of season 4 when our brilliant, amazing writers decided to sort of reveal more of this character. They took us to her bedroom, to her closet when she's wearing her makeup or putting on her jewelries. And little by little, the audience started getting to know her better and better. So this woman who has this stoic face at work is pretty emotional with her husband, or when she talks about her children or the son that she had lost long ago to a nonsense war. It was when they started it, I loved the idea because the more the audience get to know a character, a full dimensional character, uh, more the audience can relate to the character. And it started in season 4 and it went on and on and on. Came to season 5 and it was just amazing. And the audience started, oh, wait a second, maybe she's not what we thought she was before. Maybe she's a bit different than the perception that we've had of her. And the moment the audience started doubting about this character, it was the moment that they started getting more acquainted and more sort of insiders. Like, wait a second, I know this woman. I know why she's doing this because I've seen some of her background, and I'm more familiar with this character than I was in season 2 or season 3.
Well, it has been a journey with her, but the journey of the show itself has also been fascinating, starting off on sci-fi for the first 3 seasons, then it was canceled, and then Jeff Bezos himself stepped in and saved it in 2018. What was that like for you and the whole cast of The Expanse?
Hillary, it was unbelievable. When we were told that the show is cancelled, I am the eldest one of them all. The way I looked at it was, all right then, a chapter is closed, another chapter will open. Youngsters were devastated. Oh, our show is cancelled. I kept repeating myself. When a chapter is closed, the other chapter will open. All of a sudden, a friend sent me a text message along with a picture of a balloon, a plane, carrying the message, save the expanse. I'm like, who's doing this? We're not doing this. And I called a colleague and I said, do you have any idea who's doing this? She said, fans, Shohreh. Fans are doing this. They got together, they put their pennies, their dollars together, and they send the balloon up and they send it to the Amazon's headquarters. Right now, the plane is going around the headquarters, Amazon's headquarters. And my take on this is that, yes, they send it there, and Mr. Bezos on the top, all of a sudden he sees the plane and he goes, what? This show is going to be cancelled? No, 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 no. He calls and says, I want to see the rest of the show. Had I not been a part of this amazing show, I would have never known what fans can do for a show. It was unbelievable. It still is. We have 5 million active fans, and it's incredible. But the show itself, obviously, the continuity of the show, how condensed and meaningful and profound this show is when you watch it from Season 1 to season 5, it's incredible. I started watching them again. Season 1, Abasarala is on the roof, gazing at the stars. Her grandson joins her and asks her, "Are you afraid of the rocks?" And she says, "I'm not afraid of the rocks. I'm afraid of those who throw the rocks." It is still going on. People are still, the predators are throwing rocks. So it's just incredible. It's like a slice of life in the future. And it has received amazing reviews. But my favorite comes from the scientist, who is not a critic. The scientist is saying this is the most accurate version of the future.
The special effects are incredible. Like when I watch it, and I am a fan, I feel like I am in space. It's incredibly transportative, if that's even a word. But another one of the things I love, and I know the fans do as well, is the camaraderie between you and Michael Irby, who plays Admiral Delgado, and the looks that you two exchange. So please tell us more about your relationship with him and with some of the other actors. And also, if the proto molecule and Marco Inaris are going to destroy us all.
I mean, honestly, I cannot say anything about what's going to happen in the future because I have no idea of what Marco Inaris is going to do to us. But I do know that Abasarala is there. So I'm counting on her. And I'm hoping that she would be able to take care of Marco Inaris. Colleagues, friends, actors, principals, day players, we're like a family. We love one another, truly. It's been 6 years now, ever since we started. And this is one of the rare shows that I've ever worked on that has this amazing, peaceful, friendly atmosphere. We all are mindful of one another. We all care about what the other one is doing. And with our guests, like Michael, my God, day one when we started, we met each other at the makeup trailer, and I said, "Would you like to run lines?" And he goes, "By all means, would love to." We started running lines. Then we went to my trailer, and we started talking about life, work, this and that. And then we went to the set. The moment we started, I was ever so happy because right there and then I noticed that Michael Irby is one of those actors who believes in interacting because it's not just about coming out, hitting your marks, saying your lines, and act it out. Acting is really about interacting. Those actors who are willing to do so are precious to work with. And Michael is one of them. When we started exchanging looks, he looked at me and said, in the interval, he said, "Was that Abasarala's look?" I said, "Yes, be careful. When she gives you that look, she means something." And he said, "Well, I can give her a look too." I said, "Let's do it." It's all based on no matter how short or how long this friendship is going to last for. If it's only for a couple of hours on the set or for lifetime, it won't make a difference. That friendship, that camaraderie, that interacting helps so much for both actors to bring out, to go about all the details, which makes the work really good, excellent, and at the same time be mindful of one another and try not to steal scenes from one another, but help each other out to give more sense to the scene that the two are playing together.
Well, talking about incredible work and stealing the scene, you got an Academy Award nomination as Best Supporting Actress for the 2003 film House of Sand and Fog. as well as a number of other awards for that film, which I saw in the theater at the time and was just wowed by it. But how did that change and affect your life and career?
It changed my life, my career tremendously because 30 years ago, I went to an audition. A friend of mine, when I arrived in the US, I told my husband, who's a playwright, I said, write a play, let's start doing Farsi speaking plays until we can get a job in the American film or television or theater industry. And a friend of mine who was already working in the industry suggested that I should do this, that he got me a audition. And I was so happy about this audition. As soon as I got in, I wasn't even close to the casting director's desk. As soon as I got in, she looked at me and she said, "Oh, no, no, no. We're looking for a downtrodden Middle Eastern woman. You're too beautiful for this role. Go home."
Nothing like a backhanded compliment.
Absolutely. I didn't know whether I should be happy or upset because she was really taking me lightly as an actor, no matter how I look. If you want to, if you want me to portray a downtrodden Middle Eastern woman, give me the chance and let me show it to you. But don't dismiss me as soon as I, get in. So my husband was in the car waiting for me with my baby. She was 2 years old. I got in the car and I told my husband, "Sweetheart, this industry is not ready for us. I'm not the girl next door. Let's start with our plays." We did, and we were ever so successful. We bought a house with our first play. When I tell this to my American friends, they're like, "With theater, with a play, you bought a house?" "Yes, in Woodland Hills, we did." 16 years of this. When they were about to make House of Sand and Fog, they were looking for an Iranian actress, and they gave ads to Iranian outlets, medias, radio, television. But I wasn't in Los Angeles, and I had no idea of what was going on. When I got back, they had already been into this for a couple of weeks. So finally, thank God for Deborah Akila, the casting director of the movie. She asks her employee, two of them, she sends them to Beverly Hills and Westwood, where Iranians have businesses.
Right.
Ask Iranians who their favorite actress is. They all, they all, they all wrote my name.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
they did so many different spellings that when they called me from DreamWorks, the lady was asking for Shohreh Aghdashloo. And I said, "Oh my God,
You're like, who's that?
but it's not my name." And she said, "Would you like to come down and sort it out?" Where to? DreamWorks, regarding House of Sand and Fog. And I started shaking because I had read the book. I had read the book, and I told my husband that if one day they make a movie out of this book and don't give me this role, there is no democracy in this country. And my husband said, "You're such a political animal. What has it got to do with democracy?" I don't know whether it was the secret that I put it out into the universe, said it out loud, that they should give it to me, or it 80% Deborah Akila, who decided to send her employees to Westwood and Beverly Hills. I'd always be into the title.
I think your popularity has only soared since then. And I believe one of the next things that you did, and I was a big fan, not only of House of Sand and Fog, but of 24, as you and I have discussed before. And your season of 24 with Kiefer Sutherland playing the leader of a terrorist cell in the Valley was just incredible. But I also understand you initially had some qualms about perhaps promoting negative stereotypes about Muslims, but you ended up doing the role. So let's hear a little more about that.
I did. In fact, um, I have to mention that if anybody wants to know what hardworking means in cinema, television, they should really, they should have come to the set of 24, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It was like guerrilla work. We did so much in one day that was unbelievable, especially to me, coming from Iran, having experienced, working with the Iranian television. It was, everybody kept saying it, but I didn't understand what they really meant when they said larger than TV. With 24, I realized what it means, larger than TV. And it was an incredible uh, experience. But obviously, it had its backlashes. Every morning, I used to take my daughter to school before I go to work, and I used to listen to the Iranian radio. They started Iranian people started saying, Shohreh Aghdashloo is giving us a bad name. She's portraying a terrorist. There is no Iranian terrorist. Prove it to us first, and then portray one. Blah blah. One day, I got so mad and tired of all this. I called the network, the radio, and I said, KIRN 670 AM, and I said, I have the right to go on air, and you have to give me the same time as you give your audience to talk about me. I want to talk about my show and why I am doing this. So I got on air and I said, shame on you. Most of you have been here for 30, 40 years. By now, you should have known that I'm an actress and I'm looking for a multi-layer character to play. This woman is a wife, is a mother, is a lover, is a terrorist, is a believer. Where am I going? Every actor was given an arm and a leg to play this role. Stop, character definition. Stop attacking me. I'm an actress at the end of the day. It's nothing to do with my race or my background. And I expect you to be more intellectual than what you claim to be. So they stopped, finally. But for a couple of months, my God, I was really upset. I couldn't understand why they're refusing to understand that this is a great role for me. And these roles will bring me closer to my goal in the American film and television industry. They were just thinking about themselves. They were so egoistic in this way. So finally,
Shohreh, you left Iran at the beginning of the revolution in 1979 and moved to London and then to Los Angeles. But do you ever even think what life would have been like had you stayed there?
as a matter of fact, yes, many times. And these are the times that I am at the peak of my happiness, or I'm in cloud nine. When I received my Emmy, I was going through the corridors looking for my publicist, Nancy Seltzer, whom I love and adore and have learned a lot from her. I'm like, Nancy, Nancy. Finally, I found Nancy. She was looking for me too. I hugged her and I said, Nancy, can you imagine if I had not left Iran, where I would have been right now? And she's a very put together, sort of practical and logical lady. And she said, no, I haven't. And what do you think you would have been doing right now? I said, most probably I would have been married with 5 kids and a Rolex watch. But I would not be. I would have not been happy. She laughed, and she just laughed.
Well, thank heavens. But you mentioned the Emmy. I just want to make it clear to our viewers that was for the HBO limited series House of Saddam, in which you played Saddam's wife. So I am going to go back and watch that, but that was fantastic. And if I can maybe predict the future, and with the help of a glass of champagne here, I think that even more acclaim is in store for you on The Expanse and for your wonderful castmates. It's just been a brilliant season so far as we've reached the end of season 5. So congratulations to you.
Thank you so much, Hillary. Do you mind if I join you with a Bloody Mary?
Please do, Shohreh. I
I
can't wait till we do this in person, but
Me neither. Me neither. We have to do this in my backyard, and I have to cook some Persian food for you.
I cannot
I
wait.
have been
But
practicing. I have been practicing, and I'm doing a good job now. I knew a couple of stews before, but now I have learned more. And I promise you, I'm going to do a good job. I love you. Thank you, Hillary.
thank you so much, Shohreh. Cheers.